Sports. The Packer offense ready to get their next drive underway. As the offense comes out here, Charles, remember they threw the interception last time out, but they were moving the football down the field. Looked like they were going to have a sustained drive that ended in points, but then the pick ensued.
And because of that, there's no way you can call the last drive a success. Yes, there are things to build on because they found some play calls that work. Now, they've got to build another drive and find a way to avoid the turnover the plague did on the last one.
Short completion, just 4 yards, and that will bring up second down. Here's Rodgers to throw. And just 3 yards on the catch there. He couldn't get away. And we've got a third down and 3. Rodgers now to throw. Able to find Lazard. They still, and it's a Packers touchdown. Maybe that is the boost that this offense needed.
They've done nothing the entire half, but out of the blue comes this big shot here. You're exactly right. Like a dunk in basketball, like a home run in baseball, maybe a solo shot. Sometimes you need that big play to get things ignited.
Crosby with the extra point, and that'll cut it to 3 at 10-7. Now after the touchdown, here's Crosby to kick it away. A fairly short kick from the 14. And good starting field position. He'll get this one all the way up to about the 35-yard line. So holding will scratch off some of that return.
And I know fans get frustrated when they see penalties of this sort on kick returns, but it is difficult to do it right against these moving targets at full speed. Hard to do.
Play action now. Cousins. And he's got this to Jefferson. And they work this well upfield across the 45. They got 29 yards that time. So one play, and they're already just shy of midfield. Here's a quick throw to Thielen. So just 3 yards on the completion there. And that'll bring up second down. The Vikings here hosting Green Bay in the season opener. And they've got one of those quirks in the schedule that is going to work in their favor. They play all 3 of their division home games in the first 5 weeks of the year. After Green Bay today, they'll host Detroit in week 3 and then Chicago in week 5. The result, only 4 yards there on the play. And this will wind up being a 3rd and 3.
Was that a receiver? Yeah, actually it was. There's a running back who was a receiver on the play. I think he's been spending time in the receiver drills getting his feet down.
Well, those guys out of the backfield, they got to be good, agile with their feet. He showed the agility there with a toe tap.
No doubt about it. It's like he went to ballet school. Got the toes down and stayed in bounds.
A big-time gain there on the keeper, using his legs to hurt him. First down. It looked like almost a miscommunication defensively because once he decided to keep it, he had pretty smooth sailing.
Yeah, it became a question of, wait a minute, who's got the quarterback? When you talk about miscommunication, it's supposed to be called assignment football on the defensive side of the ball, but the assignment gets mixed up. That's the end result.
So a nightmare start to the drive as they're already staring at 2nd and long. On play action, Cousins. This is caught. Touchdown. Justin Jefferson, a 24-yard touchdown. As his guys are able to extend their lead.
When we drop defenses on the board, we do account for every receiver. But on that particular play, somehow he was wide open, became an easy touchdown pass.
Joseph connects on the extra point, and his guys will take a 10-point lead. Now Joseph tees it up to kick off following the touchdown. And it'll come out to the 25 as he will not attempt to return. The Packer offense ready to get their next drive underway. And, Charles, nothing like squaring off with a division opponent, division rival in Week 1. Do you like that they are matching up this early, or would you prefer a game like this be a few weeks down the road?
I should like the early matchup for a few reasons, Brandon. First of all, it allows you to see that in the entire offseason and know, hey, right out of the gate, we're playing a division game. Second part is it spreads them out a little bit. If you just have them all bunched up at the end of the year, that's not as much fun watching teams trying to survive that gauntlet when you do have injuries down the stretch. And last but not least, let's face it, we're TV people. What a great game to sell right out of the gate.
And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. Rodgers now on first down. He'll drop this underneath for Jones. And that'll be good for 8 yards to the 45. From the 45 on second down, Rodgers. That's complete to Dobbs. And the tackle going to be made at the 38. It's a gain of 6. And we've hit the 2-minute mark in this first half of action. Coming up at halftime, I'll go from one personality, that's you, Charles Davis, to another one in Orlando, the coach. He'll have stats and scores from around the NFL. You and Jonathan Coachman both larger than life.
No doubt about it.
But you're stuck with me in this booth,
yes,
and he's miles away and smiling.
And happy.
Dillon now on first and 10. A gain of 3, second down. Rodgers going to throw. Oh, he's going to let this go for the end zone. And it's intercepted at the goal line. Picked off by Landon Collins. And the Vikings are going to take possession here. It's a touchback, and they'll take over at the 20-yard line. The Minnesota offense about ready to get this next drive underway. They start the drive with Cook. And he still has yet to get on track in this first half as they're going to stop him behind the line. Rashawn Gary that time through the line and getting the tackle for loss. Now on second and 13. Cousins in trouble here, and down he goes. Back at the 8-yard line. The Packers going to use one of their timeouts as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. Cousins with work to do after the sack as he brings his guys up on a 3rd and long. They're going to look to throw. Going for Hilton, and it's intercepted. Rasul Douglas picks it, and they're going to be set up in the red zone right around the 17-yard line. And they'll take possession already in the red zone and in a great spot to add points to the scoreboard.
And, Brandon, how many times have we seen a defense with a lot of field behind them get even more aggressive, right? They feel like they've got them not pinned down, but in a favorable spot for them, and they took advantage of it there. Got a nice...
And it's a Packers touchdown! Christian Watson, his first NFL reception, goes for 6. And the Packers have got it back to within a score. Now Crosby for the point after. And this is up and good to make it a 17-14 game. Now after the touchdown, here's Crosby to kick it away. And that one will bounce out of the back of the end zone, so we will start here at the 25. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. And not an abundance of time remains on the clock, Charles, but you would think more than enough to try to extend this lead before intermission.
And when you're talking about extending the lead, I think you're talking about aiming for the end zone because there is plenty of time for that. The fallback is to get 3. But in your mind, you put 6 on the board right before the half. That's a heck of a dagger and great momentum to carry into the locker room.
Touchdown, Vikings! Justin Jefferson. Second touchdown here in this opening weekend. And the Vikings will extend their lead in the final minute of the half. Joseph connects on the extra point, and his guys will take a 10-point lead.
Packers 14.
Now Joseph tees it up to kick off following the touchdown. And here comes a return from a few steps into the end zone. And beyond the 20, but not by much. In fact, just a yard pass there to the 21. The Packer offense ready to get their next drive underway. Charles, you're down multiple scores, less than a minute left here, but with that deficit, they've got to try to at least work their way into field goal range to try to muster something out of this drive.
And I'm going to go ahead and date myself one more time because I'm going to quote an old Smokey and the Bandit lyric. They've got a long way to go and a short time to get there, but they still have time to get it done. So I'm looking forward to watching them mount this drive and see if they can get some points out of it.
Open man, this is Lewis. Now the Packers going to go ahead and use the second of their timeouts as they'll stop the clock with 26 seconds to go until halftime. Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on first down. On play action, it's Rodgers. And a big loss here as he's taken down. Now the offense will burn their third and final timeout. And with halftime on the horizon, they'll be out of timeouts from here forward.
Well, that's the second time he's been sacked so far in the first half. And if they have designs on having a big year, on going anywhere, they've got to find a way to keep him upright so they can throw the football.
Throwing on second and long. Rodgers. And he bats it away, and it falls down incomplete.
I know conventional wisdom says, hey, don't get it all back in one play. But sometimes you go ahead and try to. They tried to get it all back on that one. Weren't able to do so.
On third and long, it's Rodgers. And he fires one that's intercepted. And his guys have got it back at the closing stages of the first half. Wow, a big mistake there. Late interception in this first half, and that could lead to a field goal try the other way.
Yeah, I think at this point you just had to say, let's take a knee and go into half and regroup. Let's just talk it over a little bit. I wonder, partner, was the analytics coach in his head a little bit? Maybe go ahead and press it and try and get some points. Well, the old school coach probably would have said, take the knee, let's get out of here.
Now we could see points the other way here. So still time for the kickoff here. 1 second to go in the half as this one is away. Fields this way up at the 17. So we've reached halftime here on opening weekend. As we'll send you down to Orlando, and we check in with Jonathan Coachman for our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach. We welcome you back now. Alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gunn, getting set for quarter number 3 here.
Mason Crosby, kickoff for Green Bay.
We'll see if week 1 fatigue becomes any kind of a factor as we are back underway in the second half. And no return on this one as the fair catch is signaled for and taken. The Minnesota offense about ready to get this next drive underway. As this offense takes the field to begin the opening drive of the second half, Charles, remember in that first half, Good through the air and really all around an outstanding offensive performance.
Absolutely. They've reached the end zone several times. The passing game working awfully well, and most importantly, partner.
Yeah, they went to the tunnel with a lead. They come back out with that lead.
Absolutely. NFL coaches, we know they're perfectionists in a lot of ways, but they had to like what they saw in that first half.
Able to get the 1 yard he needed, but nothing more. In the first half, he was held in check on the ground, but despite that lack of production, they still have the lead.
And they've got to feel fortunate about that. If they could actually get production from their lead horse, that would help open up this offense and widen this margin, too.
A 10th carry in the game for Cook. Eric Stokes in on the tackle.
Running lanes were at a premium in the first half, but he's able to find some room there, and he's hoping that that's a precursor of a big second half.
After the pickup of 5, here's 2nd and 5. Here's Cook again. And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. It'll go down as a 2-yard loss, and it brings up a 3rd down.
An interesting and intriguing decision there defensively because they kept extra DBs on the field despite seeing the multiple tight end look that came out for the offense.
I thought they were going to switch out of it. I didn't know if they felt they didn't have time or what the case was.
Well, in any event, the extra speed allowed for great penetration.
This time for Smith, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Eric Stokes. And the Packers will have solid field position here as they take over at their 45-yard line. That is just what this defense was hoping for, an interception on the opening possession of this 3rd quarter.
Obviously didn't want to surrender a touchdown and fall even farther behind. And we've gotten to know this team a little bit, haven't we? Could you just see their defensive leaders telling the offense?
Now look out, Rodgers lost the football. And the Vikings pick up the football. And they are going to bring this one back. It's a fumble return, a scoop and score for the Vikings. The offense, they've had some sloppy moments. Sloppy there again on that one, and it could be the backbreaker.
From a defensive perspective, if the offense is going to be sloppy, you've got to take advantage of that. And that's what they've done all game long.
Joseph connects on the extra point, and that pushes the lead up to an even 20. And you can bet they're preaching 2 hands on the ball here as the kick's away following that fumble return. And we'll see a return here from the end zone. And he'll be brought down shy of the 20, so the decision to bring it out of the end zone, not a good one. The Packer offense ready to get their next drive underway. I kind of feel like they've reached a do-or-die point in this game, Charles. If they're going to try to pull off an impressive comeback, it has to start right here, right now.
Yeah, now they've got a final chance to get out of this situation, but they also understand they've got to move the ball and move it fast. In addition, they need to save as much time so they can get 2 more possessions.
Rodgers' throw finds its target, Dobbs. And he's able to get this one up to his 30 before he's out of bounds. 5th catch of the afternoon, and that gives him a 1st down.
Dobbs made the day 3 of the draft, and Green Bay loves the dimension he brings to their group of receivers, and that's speed. The head coach really wanted someone who could take the top off of a defense in the draft, and they got it in Romeo Dobbs out of Nevada. You can easily see him getting steadily more and more targets as the weeks go on. The touch and time are critical for those types of throws. He put a lot of zip on that one. Needed just a little bit more finesse trying to get it to his back.
After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. Now a play fake. Rodgers. This is caught. It's Christian Watson. And this is going to turn into another 1st down as the tackle is made at the Vikings' 41-yard line. That's good for 28 yards.
Well, we talk all the time about playing situational football, and right now I think the scoreboard is dictating what they need to do. Where they are in this game, they've got to push the ball downfield, take their shots, try and get big chunks of yardage in a short amount of time. That was a nice play there.
And he's going to be taken down just shy of the 35. On 2nd down, it's Jones. Shreds him with a stiff arm. 14 yards, good for a Packer first down. Throwing is Rodgers. He'll find Lazard here over the middle. And he's brought down inside the 20 at the 18-yard line.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he could get a good head of steam going.
They fake the give. Now Rodgers. The quick throw knocked away. It's incomplete.
That was well played, but that was also an example of a corner who understands his coverage, realized he had support behind him, and could be a little more aggressive in the shorter zone, and did exactly that, knocking that pass away.
Throwing is Rodgers on third down. And it'll be intercepted. And the Vikings are going to have it here as they start at their own 7. Well, still down quite a bit here, several scores, but yeah, at least that's a start, Charles, getting the interception here. And look, we're still in the third quarter, so this thing not done yet.
You're right about that, Brandon. This defense, they haven't quit on this game. They stayed with it and got an interception and handed the ball back to their offense. And what you wonder about is the team that just threw that interception, they've got to be careful about developing a sense of complacency and thinking this game is over.
The first down run got 5. Here's 2nd and 5. To throw is Cousins. And that throw behind his man. He missed him. Incomplete.
I see the surprise in your face there, partner. That is a rare incompletion from him. He's been on point this entire game.
He has percentage completion-wise way up. Not that time. They come up now 3rd and 5 following the incomplete pass. Cousins now. And he fires one, but incomplete.
You can tell they wanted to get that ball downfield. They had nothing working in the secondary, so he dropped it off to the running back. That one ended up incomplete.
The Vikings send out their punter. And the way this offense has moved the ball, he hasn't been needed till here in the 3rd. A 41-yard punt there with no return. And it'll be Packer football here. First down and 10. The Packer offense ready to get their next drive underway. As this offense takes the field against CD, remember last drive they were moving the football, but then they threw that costly interception, so we'll see if they can right the ship here on this drive.
And doesn't that just sum up football? We see it all the time, don't we? The defense goes from losing the battle to making a huge play and stealing the momentum. So you know they're riding high right now, and they're ready to challenge this offense and that quarterback one more time.
And we'll see if the offense is up for that challenge here as things start to get more interesting here in this second half. A second down pass play there, but it's incomplete. He shook his head right when he released that throw. He knew it was going to be a little off target.
Yeah, the excitement got him on that one. Wasn't able to control the fact the receiver was open, and it would have been an easy throw.
He's got the hook up with Dobbs. And he takes this one down almost all the way to the 30. A good pickup there, 21 yards. From Viking territory now, they'll come up 1st and 10, down at the 31. Throwing now is Rodgers. Quick slant to Watson. And he'll be brought down at about the 23-yard line. Final minute now of the 3rd quarter. And again, it's Rodgers. And his throw here is incomplete. Christian Watson, the man he was looking for. And it's 3rd down and 2.
Not sure what happened there, but he just didn't get the right read on the coverage that time. Pass wasn't where it needed to be, and that'll send them back to the drawing board.
They'll try and run for it with Jones. And a strong run there as he'll maneuver his way down inside the 15. It was a 1st and 10 at the 14-yard line. Into the red zone, it's Rodgers. A quick throw there going to be batted away and incomplete.
That's a really nice job there by the coverage, understanding that they're in a high-stakes situation. If he doesn't make a play on that ball, there's an excellent chance it ends up either as a touchdown or as a nice gain downfield.
On second down, Dillon. And power running here down to the 6-yard line. Here comes play number 9 now as they come up on a 3rd and 3. And they're not going to get to the line to run another play. So we will switch ends as the 3rd quarter has come to a close. So 2 of 2 on 3rd down conversions on this drive, and now they face a 3rd and 3 here. Here's Rodgers. And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Xavier Rhodes with a pick. Through an opening, and there he goes. 30. And a super return as he gets us all the way down inside the 25-yard line. Another solid game-changing play for this defense for the interception. And at this point, though, I don't know that it's game-changing. I mean, they've got this one in firm control.
And you always hear about, those stories about someone left their game plan behind and maybe you benefit from it. I'm not going to say that that happened, but they certainly have appeared on defense to be a step ahead this entire game. Guys are always in the right spot in order to make a play.
The offense has had its moments. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football, and the Packers pick it up. He's at the 50. He's at the 30. 10, 5, and he will bring this one back. A fumble return for a Green Bay touchdown. Extra point try now for Crosby. And that will cut this lead down to 13.
Makes the score Vikings 34, Packers 21.
So here's the kickoff now as he'll get it again following that fumble return for a score. And this will be a touchback, so they'll bring it out to the 25. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. They have to like the position that they are in. 4th quarter, 2-score lead, and now the ball back after the INT. Kenny Clark, the big D tackle there to make the stop. Run blitz there defensively, something we might see more of here in the 4th quarter.
I think we'll see a lot of it, and the difference between that and a pass blitz just trying to get to the quarterback. You're trying to scheme someone open who will get to the QB and make sure he gets on the ground. In a run blitz, you're actually trying to cover up gaps, trying to cover up holes so they can't run the football.
Yeah, that's good for a gain of 6. And now we've got a 3rd and 3. Looked like a pretty good, safe play right there. No, he's had trouble with the interceptions in this game there. Hits his guy out in the flat.
And so many times we hear quarterbacks and offensive coordinators talk about, in your progressions, you're either throwing the touchdown or you're throwing the check down.
And intercepted. Maybe the turning point they need. Devondre Campbell, the linebacker, picks him. And his guys are going to take over at the 31-yard line. Now with that interception, you feel like we got a ball game again. Remember, 2-score contest and still time left here in the 4th.
And in the old days, not too long gone either. Throwing the ball here would have been an absolute no-no. But the way the game's played now, throwing it makes sense. You just have to be careful when you put it in the air.
Trying to shake off the interception from the last drive. He'll look to throw. And this one is incomplete.
Give him big credit for his coverage right there, because when he saw the route break deep, he stayed in position to prevent a completion while avoiding any risk of a flag.
On play action, now Rodgers. And complete to Lewis over the middle. And they're going to get this down inside the 15.
Good yardage on the completion there. When they look at the scoreboard, they do understand a field goal is not going to do them any good. My guess, they're going to press the ball downfield as far as possible, try and throw it into the end zone and get a score, because they know they've got to get that done and get the ball back as quickly as possible.
So not quite a first and goal just yet as they come up now second and inches. Now it's Rodgers. Steps away to his left. And he'll just throw this one over in the way of the security crew. Incomplete here.
Another throw there off the mark, and obviously he's battled all of the interceptions. Things just haven't been true to form for him. I don't know what he thinks going on out there, CD.
That's a great question, and my suspicion is he's been coached really well.
And he'll take this one in for a Packer touchdown. Romeo Doubs with his first career touchdown in his first career game. And the Packers have made it a one-score game again here in the fourth. The PAT good. It would draw him closer, but hold on just a second. A flag is down on the field.
The Charles, they're trying to protect this lead late. Those are the types of mistakes they could afford to go without.
About the last thing you want to give them is help in completing a comeback, which is exactly what that penalty does.
After the roughing penalty on the PAT, they'll kick off from 15 yards further upfield. And that one will bounce out of the back of the end zone, so we will start here at the 25. Some good games around the league here early in week one, and this one's shaping up to be as good as any of them as we come up on a 1st and 10.
Hey, yellow, yellow, yellow.
Cousins.
Swinging this out wide here for Cook.
And he's upended after a gain of 2 out to the 27.
Well, offensively, that's the mismatch that you want. You want to force a linebacker to try and cover your back out of the backfield, out in some open space. But linebackers nowadays, they run like backs, and they take a lot of pride in covering. What a nice play he made there in the open field.
And look at this. They get the turnover they needed. It's intercepted. Picked off by Darnell Savage.
And the Packers are right back in this football game.
So, my goodness, I would have thought this possible not too long ago, but that turnover there means we have a game again.
Yeah, it's been a completely different team here in the second half. I just wonder on the other side of the field, where the starters telling the backups, get ready, you're going to get some playing time. And now guess what? Hope they didn't cut the tape off of their wrists and ankles. They've got to go back out there and play.
So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on 1st down. Here's Rodgers to throw. And his throw is incomplete.
Well, he's smart enough to avoid the taunting rule, but I'll guarantee he quietly has told them, you might want to stop coming after me downfield because I just broke up another pass and took away a big shot that you were trying to succeed with.
On 3rd down, here's Jones. And he will get him down a couple yards shy of the 1st down marker. A nice tackle coming up from his free safety spot. Now Rodgers got to have this one.
And that's intercepted yet again, and that could be the backbreaker.
Picked off by Landon Collins.
And the Vikings will take over here as they get it up to the 43-yard line.
I think you and I were a little surprised back early in the game when he threw his 2nd interception. I mean, who would have thought a quarterback of his caliber picked now 5 times?
It's beyond stunning to me because we're used to that with maybe a quarterback with less experience or less talent. But a quarterback of his caliber, I can't believe what we've just seen.
Absolutely. If you would have told me this coming into the ballgame, I would have said never, not in a million years. But here we go. And now, defensively, they're going to burn their first time out. Remember, they get an extra time built in coming up here shortly at the 2-minute warning. How about this? They'll try the option, left side. And he will lose yardage back to the 34-yard line. And his defense here going to burn their 2nd timeout. But you can also factor in another timeout that they'll get when the clock stops at the 2-minute warning. Possibly a turning point. Big play coming. This is 3rd and long. To throw, Cousins sliding out of the pocket. Hard throw, incomplete. Just a little beyond the reach there of his receiver. That's probably one he wishes he had back.
He wishes it had been 7-on-7 in practice, or maybe even routes versus air, because that's a completion he makes, what, 9.9 times out of 10? Just missed that one.
This will be fielded at the 17. It's a 42-yard punt. They keep him to just a yard on the return. And we have reached the 2-minute warning. The Packer offense ready to get their next drive underway. Their defense accomplished step one of the mission. They forced the punt. Now they'll look to erase that deficit and take a fourth-quarter lead. Down he goes at the 23, a pickup of 4. We've got a one-score game with inside of 2 minutes remaining. Rodgers to throw. Forced out to his left. And he can't get a throw off. He's taken down. What a huge play at this point in the game. Back to throw. Rodgers. Complete. This is Lewis. And way up past the 35 before he's taken down. Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. Throwing there, but this pass is going to wind up incomplete.
Limited time left on the clock after that incompletion, so I think both sides are going to savor every second to prepare before the next snap. Because once the ball's in motion, it may be a non-stop push to finish this drive off. Everyone better be on the same page right now, because I think they're going to try and get several plays off in quick succession if they can.
Now Rodgers. Now swing pass for Dillon. And this time not quite to the 30. It'll be down at the 31-yard line. Now the Packers going to burn their third and final timeout, as the clock will stop with 34 seconds to go in the game. To throw is Rodgers. And his throw's going to be incomplete. This defense has watched their lead dwindle away. This is where they really need to bow up. They executed well there.
And it's all been hard after you played really well early, and then you kind of relax a little bit. To step on the gas again. They just did it on the last play. Looks like they want to finish this one off.
And they do get him down, but not before he's able to slip it inside the 5-yard line. Well, forget the run on 3rd and 1. They shock the D and rip off a pretty big play. Tell you what, he's been able to put the ball in some tight spots all game long. That throw, no different.
Yeah, a lot of people would call it a gutsy type of a throw. I think he looks at it as, I can do it, so it's not that big of a deal to me. I'm going to keep firing.
He'll look to throw. He'll check it down, complete to Dillon. And he's in for the touchdown, and boy,